Hey guys, it's Ani. Happy Friday. Excited to share this video with you. It's going to be filled with a lot of tips and tricks and so much information. I'm going to be sharing a success story that uh, I think a lot of us are always interested in. I always see people manifesting money in their relationship. So this is about that. One of my clients, she got success in both. And it's just going to be, it's an interesting story. So stick around for that. Also, another good news, as you may have heard, I can't even talk, you guys may have heard about my new course, Master Your Mind, Manifest Your SP. I am now offering that in a bundle package. I offer all my courses in bundle packs. So if you want to do more than one course, like let's say you want to do the new one with the money course I offer, or the new Master Your Mind, Manifest Your SP, now along with like a self-concept course, it's a discounted rate rather than paying original price for both. If you're buying both at once, you get a discounted rate. So if you are interested, link will be in the description box down below. And today's success story, you guys, that I'm going to talk about, she's one of my one-on-one clients, but also she's taken my courses before. And it's going to be success about both, like, I guess you would say saving money. Let's just say it's living for free, no rent paid, and movement with SP. So I'm gonna talk about that. Super interesting how things play out. Um, and this client of mine, when she first came to me, she was just so done with, like, you could say, manifesting. She was so done. She had tried everything and everyone and all these different um super expensive courses. Like, when she told me how much she had spent on one course, I was super surprised. um she's tried everything and everything, like different people, different techniques, different programs, what else, so many things, like everything and anything, like hypnosis, affirmation tracks, everything and everything. And there's nothing wrong with those things. I mean, if it resonates with you, everything is different for everyone. Everyone's preference is different. But she had tried everything, from what I heard, what she told me, and it was just like nothing, no movement, nothing. And she was literally like, this is my last hope. You're my last hope, last try. If nothing, I'm just completely, like, done with putting in any specific thought, even in my head, right? And we all know we can't turn off our manifesting abilities, right? So you constantly will experience what you think about, which is really good and really bad sometimes, right? If you're thinking about the bad stuff, it's not so great. But so I'll share the success story. You guys, she was manifesting. She was living in a building, and um her building was, her rent was getting really expensive. And even though she was able to afford it, she's like, Ani, I kept just having this thought of, like, I wish I could just live rent free. I wish I didn't have to give these few $1,000s for rent. Like, my hard earned, like, working hours going to, like, this few $1,000s going to rent. And obviously we are all so used to that bill, right? Like, it's just something, it's like on autopilot for us, like just like a phone bill, or electricity, or whatever. Rent is just something you think, like, oh, that's just, you always have to work around it, right? And she was always like, I wish I don't have to pay rent. Okay. And stick around, you guys. This is not just going to be a money success story. It's going to be SP related too. But all all works the same way, you guys. All of it works the same way. So like this also can apply to SP, because the way things played out in her story, things have played out like that with me and my SP. Things have played out like that for my clients with their SPs. So don't worry that this first little success story, and it's not little, but this first success story is about money, because you're gonna take some aha moments out of this too. But she was literally like, I just wish I didn't have to pay rent. I want to live rent free, you know? And she didn't want to live in a 1 bedroom. She was currently in a 1 bedroom apartment. She wanted to stay at least in a 2 bedroom. She's like, I want at least 2 bedrooms. So if I have guests over, whatever, they can stay over. She had this like, she always had this desire in her that she wanted to host. She wanted people to come over. She wanted people to stay over, but she did not have enough to pay for 2 bedrooms. She was like working super hard, working overtime just for her current rent, right? At her building, she had complained to me a few times that the manager of that building wouldn't really show up, like they wouldn't really manage the building at all. And she, along with other neighbors, other tenants of that building, she was always just like, I wish we could at least have this person leave or get someone new that will be responsible, that they will take care of, like, if things are, if the locks are not working, if someone's locked out, they have the extra key, to open it up. Like, there was just so many issues, she was saying. And this also applies, like, if you guys are ever like thinking about like removing third party or whatever, this also applies, this story applies, so pay attention. So she was always thinking that this person is, oh, they're not showing up, whatever. And a few weeks pass, and she gets, just like everyone else, they get this notification in the building that this manager will no longer be managing the building. And literally, she was like, Ani, I was so surprised because there was no way she was leaving. There was no way this person was leaving. She was really cool with the owners of the building, the company, and all of that. And there was just no way I could imagine that she would actually leave. Okay. And this applies to third parties, you guys, as well. So I felt that way before. Like, I remember when I had manifested, like years ago, when I had manifested a third party in my situation, I was thinking too, like, oh, it's never gonna happen, like it's just so convenient, whatever. And I have so many clients that come to me in that situation too, but then we end up removing the third party because everyone is you pushed out and circumstances do not matter. Okay. So this girl thought that this person will never leave. She will never get fired. She wasn't really like, she wasn't hoping for this person to get fired or anything like that. She wasn't thinking in a like ill will type of way, but she couldn't maneuver around the thought. She was just like, like either the people that hired her have to one day notice that she's not on top of her job, which that was not happening for years, she said. So one day they get this notification in the whole building that this person will no longer be managing the whole building. Okay. She was super shocked, but she was like, okay, oh my God, this is something I was manifesting. Right. So it's kind of like this person was the third party over the situation. So she removed that. As she's kind of in this like shock still of, wow, like I kind of forgot about it, but it still played out. I also want you to pay attention to that too. She wasn't affirming for this. She wasn't pushing up against it. She wasn't trying to make things happen. She literally had imagined that, thought about it, and then kind of was in this state of, I don't know. I don't know if it will happen. Most likely it won't happen because of all these circumstances, right? And it happened when she was thinking that way. So that's why I always mention it in my videos, you guys. You do not have to believe that something is coming for it to come. You don't have to believe that, oh my God, there will no longer be a third party, so they leave. Or you don't have to believe, oh, SP's gonna fully choose me. I know they are. And then it comes. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't 100% feel confident in it, right? Because you're too focused on circumstances, and in that moment you can. But as you do the work over time, you build this momentum that just becomes heavier, and it has to eventually push out, right? So don't worry about staying in the state 24/7. The more you can stay in the state, the better. But you'll be surprised. I mean, comment down below. Every time you manifested something, the moment you received it, were you in the state, or you were kind of, you came to like the shock, like, oh wow, like I was manifesting that and it finally happened, right? I would say it's the latter, because in my experience, it's always been like, I know how to manifest, obviously, but like it's always been kind of when you're okay with your now, you've accepted your now, your present moment, and that's when it comes in, because you're not pushing up any resistance in that moment, you know. And the universe is like, oh my God, it's the time. It's time, you guys. She's not pushing up resistance. Boom, get it in. Even if it's like a second of no resistance, it's like, you guys, she is not resistant right now. Get it in. Slide it in. You know? So keep listening to the story, gets better. So as she's in shock that, OMG, I manifested this person to leave, hopefully someone better comes in, the company that hires people to manage the building come to the building, and they are kind of like really notifying everyone door to door, hey, this is how it's going to be, this is what the process is going to be like, you know, there's going to be this change now until we figure out what's going to happen, you know. And they come to her door, she says, and they said that multiple people, they went around, like they were kind of going around the whole building. Multiple people said, or what's the word? Multiple people like recommended. Is that the word? What's the word? Like elected. They were electing, kind of. They recommended, elected, whatever, that she be the new manager. And she didn't know this. The management people were just going around, and once they came to her door to tell her about what the process is going to be like going forward, that person told her, hey, you know, multiple tenants really recommended you to be the new manager. And she was like, I have no experience in really managing. I mean, I'm grateful that they, you know, recommended me, but I wouldn't know what to do or how to go about it, right? And these people were like, you know what, come by for an interview. And she goes for an interview, and they're like, she told me it was such a great experience. They were super nice. They told her that she has to go to a few classes to know how to work the system and everything, and they're going to teach her A to Z, all these things. And not only, so this was the offer, you guys. Not only will she get paid for managing the building, but she would be living in one of the 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom units for free. For free. And she was literally like, Ani, never in a million years. And to be honest, like that's to be honest, whenever you hear someone wants to live free, you don't think that way, right? That's not the logical way you think, like, oh yeah, this is how you're going to live for free, right? You don't think about these things. You think of it harder, like, oh, how are you going to live for free? Like, what are you talking about, right? You don't think these bridge of incidents would take place, right? So literally she was like, Ani, as she's like, the whole time she's like, I've been working with you. She's like, I've been doing your money course, I've been doing your SP course, whatever. She's like, I was working towards just living for free. She's like, I wasn't asking for anything specific like this, like the way they presented it to me. But she's like, as I learned the ins and outs, she was like, it was something I could totally do. And just so happy that I don't have to move anywhere like crazy far. Like everyone, all my family could still, it's the same building. It's literally just a different unit, a bigger unit, a 2-bedroom unit. And the perks is you don't pay. You don't pay rent. You get paid for keeping an eye on the building and just small tasks here and there. And she was like, it's a quiet building. We don't have like crazy complaints either. So she was just like so happy. And girl, if you're watching, like, I'm so happy for you. Like, I told you that do not worry about the how. And this is what I mean, you guys. You don't need to worry about the how. Put your desire out there. Work on it. Work on your beliefs around it a little bit. Work on persisting in it. Try to stay in the state more of having rather than lack. These are simple things you can do on a daily basis. And look how it played out. She never would have guessed it would play out like this. And there's so many millions and trillions and billions of possibilities things can play out. And this was one of them. This was why I say trust in the unseen, have faith, know that your desire desires you, because the circumstances were there was someone standing in the way that would never leave. Like this person had, she told me that that person had verbally said she would never leave. Something huge had to happen for her to leave. Well, it turns out the reason why that person left was because there was this huge lawsuit on that person, and it was really bad for her position. Like the people that had hired her didn't want her to be a part of, like, bring her drama into her work. And it was just a dramatic situation from what my client had explained. And it was like a sloppy situation, and it was something that went against their guidelines, like um guidelines or protocols, and they had to let her go. And it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter if you've heard someone say, I'm never going to leave. It doesn't matter if you think a third party will never leave. You think it's so convenient, they're going to stay forever. None of that matters. You focus on your desire. You focus on your desire. I've manifested 3Ps out too. So I have all of my thousands and thousands of clients. Like, there is not a circumstance I have not heard. I could write a book on circumstances, you guys. It doesn't matter. Don't let anyone tell you that a specific circumstance matters or not. I don't care how many degrees they have. I don't care how many certifications they have. When it comes to manifestation, circumstances do not matter. You are the one that applies and makes it mean it matters. You're the one that always gives something meaning. If you say this thing matters and it's never going to work, you might struggle a little bit, you might not see evidence for a while, but whether you say something's, whether you believe it or not, it's still going to play out. Just like how she didn't believe it, but it still played out, right? It played out in the moment where she had least resistance. She wasn't focused on making it happen. She wasn't focusing on manipulating the situation to get it to happen. So the same client of mine, as she was as we so she came to me for SP, right? Just like how most of you do, which I love all of you. And as we were working on SP, as we were getting movement with her specific person, recreating her specific person, she was also working on this. And good news is everything's going so good with her specific person, you guys. And I want to mention something that also happened with her as well. So she was recreating her specific person. This specific person didn't really want commitment. He just wanted everything to stay the same. Like, they're good, they're stagnant, nothing's moving. She really wants to get married. She really wants to have children. And he, no rush. No rush. And every time they would talk about it, it would be an argument. Every time they would talk about it, it would be an argument. And she was like, Ani, I don't know how else to go about this. Like, she's like, I've done everything and anything, and this person still will not show me a change in behavior. They will not talk about it. Every time we talk about it, they get super defensive. They want to leave the house and not talk to me, and like, really bad stuff, right? And we worked together, and I said, first, and this is what I want you guys to hear too, and take note of this. First, you have to remember, you are not changing that other, you can't change that other person first. That other person is the reflection. You can only change what's standing in front of the mirror, which is you. You are the one standing in front of the mirror. They are your reflection. I know that sounds crazy to most of you, but that's the whole everyone is you pushed out, right? So when you see someone in a certain way, which she saw this person as they were fine where they were at. They didn't want to budge. Okay? And I went through this with my SP actually too, like when it came to like going to the next level, like commitment. I kind of went through this too, so I know exactly like how to go about it. So when you're viewing that person the same old way, which is the only way you know, right? It's what they showed you, what they have shown you, that's what you're reacting to. And I don't blame you. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't blame you for reacting. I get it. They're showing you undesired evidence, and the 3D feels super, super real. That's your present moment, right? So you're over here reacting to the same old version of them. When do you change the assumption and version of them? Or do you? Do you focus on that? That's where a lot of people get stuck. They're not focusing on a different version. They're not focusing on a version that would like to move forward with them in the way they want. They're trying to change the version they received, which is lack. And they're trying to maneuver around it. They're trying to convince that person. Oh, how can I convince this person to change their mind? How can I make them love me even more to change their mind? How can I play hard to get so they change their mind? How can I scare them into changing their mind and committing to me, right? Let's be real. We've all been there. We know the tactics. Play hard to get, don't talk to them for a while, go on a girls trip for a few days, let them miss you. We all know this. Raise your hand if you know this, right? But that works temporarily. If it does work, it works temporarily. But then you come back to the same version because that's the version you know dominantly. Okay. Why I'm talking like this? Yeah, this is the Sopranos in me that I watch all the freaking time. I love that show. If you like that show, comment down below. You know, you become what you mostly watch, right? So, but when do you, and write this down, when do you, or are you viewing this person in a desired version ever? And how does that look to you? What does it look like? So some people can visualize. I couldn't visualize. That wasn't my strong point. I like to script it out. Some people do inner conversations. Some people do they meditate on it. Some people talk or write out their success story about it, or how this person would look. How would this version of this person look? How would they act? How would they make me feel? How would they feel showing up for me? Do you ever think about those things? Because it matters. Like my courses, I really like go deep in my courses with this. So if you need help with that, I guide you through this in my courses, but you don't have to. Like I'm saying it right now. Um, all these questions need to be kind of like played with, because if you're not playing with this better version that you desire, you're most likely playing with the version that whatever's just showing up, which is old news. 3D is old news, and you keep getting the old news back at your face because you keep seeing it, you keep reacting to it, you keep seeing it, you keep reacting to it. It's just like this never ending cycle. It's like the same thing. It's the same thing. You've heard the expression, the rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Why? Why do you think that is? Because they keep viewing their current situation and reacting to it. So if a rich person looks at his current bank account or current situation, which is wealth, that's what they're going to focus on. They're going to focus on, I could pay for anything. And they're always going to be in a situation where I could pay for anything. I'm rich. Money always comes to me. Someone that is not as well off, if they don't know about changing the mindset, they're going to look at their current situation or their bank account. They're going to think, well, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. And guess what? You're embodying the version of a person that cannot afford this, cannot afford that. I need to save up. I don't have enough. Right? And not only are you affirming that, you are embodying that fully, mind, body, soul. And that is why you stay in the current situation. I was able to come out of that. And you can too. I helped so many people come out of that situation where you learn to look past your current circumstances, because circumstances don't matter, and you start getting evidence of the desired reality. And then the more you get evidence of the desired reality, the more you start believing that you can have this. And the more you start believing you can have this, now you're reacting to the desired evidence. You see, there's an art to this, y'all. There is an art to this. You can do it though. You guys can do it. Like, you're so powerful. You guys are so powerful. I want you to know that you didn't come to this knowledge for nothing. And if you're struggling right now, if you're spiraling, I've been there. I get it. I know. Trust me. I know. I used to go into spirals. Like when I was manifesting my SP, I used to go into spirals that would last for days, weeks. Like I don't know. Jesus could come down and preach and I wouldn't care, pretty much. That's what would happen to me. Like I would be in such a spiral thinking, oh my God, like I would tripping out, like where anyone and everyone could come down from the heavens and just preach knowledge into my ear, and it would just go in one ear out the other. Like that's where I was at. It didn't matter. It didn't matter, you know? And I know some of you have gone through that. Just the other day, I had a client. She was like, I'm not in the state. I'm not in the state of I'm not in the state of having. I'm not in the state of having, Ani. I'm not in the state of having. And she was crying, and I was like, girl, take a deep breath. I've been there. This too shall pass. You're not gonna stay in this forever. Be okay with where you're at right now. Be okay with not being okay. Stop trying to force yourself to feel good. Stop it. Stop it. That's going to cause you to feel more exhausted. That's going to cause you to feel more anxious and worried. Because I've also done that. And I know everything I'm telling you guys, I've gone through it. I've done it. Like, it's all experience. It's all experience. So I know you can be a success. And I can talk about your success story on the channel, just like how you're watching someone else's right now. But the things I talked about that you should reflect on in today's video, rewind back and listen to that. If you're trying to recreate a person, or even if you're trying to manifest a person, I saw in one of the videos, someone was like, oh, what if you're not trying to recreate a person? What if you're trying to manifest someone new? Even better. It's easier. In my assumption, it's easier to manifest someone new because you don't have a long history with that person. You don't have flashbacks of arguments. You don't have flashbacks of fights. You don't have flashbacks of that person telling you 15,000 times, I'm not ready for a commitment. It's brand new. It's a clean slate. But even that, reflect on what is it going to look like, this relationship. How are you going to show up in this relationship? Are you the best version of yourself right now? Do you want to change a few things about you? Because remember, everyone always reflects things back to you. They always reflect back onto you what you're thinking about yourself. When I wasn't feeling the best about myself, I remember like looking back now, and if you've gone through this, comment down below too. Like, when I wasn't at my best self-concept, even the people around me weren't at their best self-concept. Like, it was like they matched my vibe, you know? And nothing against anyone. They're just a projection of me. But the more you level up, the more the people around you level up. How can the reflection not show up? How do you go in front of a mirror and not have a reflection, right? You're in a simulation. You're in this 3D holographic universe. It's gonna happen. But what you feed this is super important. What you feed yourself about you and about who you're dealing with is important. But again, you do not have to believe 24/7. Please, like, just know this. You do not have to believe 24/7 that, oh my God, I'm gonna get what I want. Yes, I'm positive. Yes, I'm happy. This fake positivity stuff, don't push it. You'll know when it's fake. You'll know when it's not natural. You'll know when it's just trying too hard. Just be neutral. Be calm. Be cool. Be collected. Like, if you're really truly feeling good, jump off the walls. Like, great. But if you're forcing it, you don't have to do that. You don't have to force positivity. You don't have to force a belief. All you need to believe is that there are trillions and millions and billions and infinite number of possibilities right now. And just like how the first story I shared with you, I'm thinking in like 7 different languages at once. The first story I shared with you, she had no idea how the heck that would happen. And the way it was presented to her was the least resistant way possible. And she was super happy about it. Super happy about it. Okay? So the universe, God, this force, whatever you want to call it, it knows ways that you do not know of. Ways that will benefit you 10 times more than in a way you could think of getting this thing to you. Okay. I hope this video was helpful, you guys. If you resonate with it, comment down below. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for the positive feedback. If you are looking to book a one-on-one session with me, I am fully booked out, but waitlist. So many people are manifesting sessions from the waitlist. So you can apply to the waitlist. If you guys have any questions, email us. Bundles are now available, my course bundles. Master Your Mind, Manifest Your SP Now. My new course is available. If you don't want a bundle, you just want to try that out. Links will be in the description box down below. If you have any questions, again, leave it in the comments or email us. I love you guys. Have an amazing day. Have an amazing weekend. Have an amazing week until I see you. Bye. Oh, you guys, if you didn't see, I shared my trip like video last Friday. It's like a minute long, minute 20 seconds. It's last Friday. So if you go back in the videos to last Friday, like a short snippet of my trip I was sharing 2 videos back, the Vegas trip, it's there. So if you guys are interested, check it out. Okay, now I'm really going. All right, bye. Love you guys.